30 years ago, the MS bike was so much smaller. We had a string of balloons over the finish line.
The entertainment that night, I do remember, was a ukulele player. And then you sat around and had ice cream and burgers.
They had more watermelon the first year than what they had cyclists.
It's taken a really committed group of people that have built it into something that is not even comparable to any other event that I've ever seen.
This will be my 30th year of riding, and this is how it started. This will be the 30th year I've ridden the Leduc Camrose. I've done every one of them. The bike ride has changed over the years. The first year it was definitely kind of a fundraiser, and there was only 116 of us. So when you rode down the highway, there was not another cyclist in sight. And in the last 10 years, there's cyclists stretching for miles. My mom had MS for 45 years. She fought it very hard for a long time, and unfortunately, we lost her this last July. My mom was a fighter. She was an inspiration to keep riding. This will be the first year riding without Mom, and yeah, I'll probably think of her more as I'm done and getting that flower put on my helmet. It's probably when I'll think of her the most. She was always very proud to say that I was one of the only ones left from the original ride.
I have been involved in the last 12 bike tours. This is a picture from 2010. I recall the first one. It was so amazing, but overwhelming to see thousands of cyclists on the road, so many people involved, and I think it was just overwhelming to see that kind of support. When I was diagnosed with MS, it was a really crazy, scary time. It was a whole world that I never knew existed, you know, and so you wonder, what's my journey? What's life gonna be like? And no one could tell you. Probably one of the biggest obstacles was when I actually had the MS attack my brainstem. I literally would try to walk down a hallway and hit one side of the wall and the next one. I look back on it and I think how scary that must have been for my son, who was, you know, primed and ready to go for the Halloween parade. Oh gosh. And I couldn't even take him out trick-or-treating, because here I am with this crazy disease in the hospital, figuring it out. Oh gosh, you guys. It's like a therapy session or something. MS Bike is more than a ride. One of the greatest things about the bike tour is that you know that there's a community behind you. The bike tour has totally changed our lives, and it gives us purpose and gives us a way to fight back.
This will be my 30th year volunteering, and this is a memory from 1998. 30 years ago, the ride was so much smaller. We probably had 2 tables set up and a couple of balloons and a couple of posters, and you just saw a couple of cyclists come in. And now to see a couple thousand people come out, really very passionate about ending MS and finding a cure for everyone. My fondest memory is the amazing people that I have met over the last 30 years. I remember seeing somebody come across the finish line with my name on their jersey, and that was Edward Fellows. And when I looked at him and he told me he was 77, I told him he truly inspired me. Back then, we had a string of balloons over the finish line. And of course now the finish line is grand. I've had so many people say to me that carnation is like a badge of honor. It makes my heart sing.
I have ridden for 26 years. I hope you can too. Favorite part is 7 a.m. Saturday morning to 4 p.m. Sunday afternoon. I love it. Originally it was a challenge. I thought, well, that's a long distance, 150 kilometers. I think we can do it though. My year is planned around the MS bike tours. For me, the 30 years went rather quickly. The most impactful moment for me was when Anne Bellahoric, it was her first year as our honorary chairperson, and she was there in her wheelchair. And she spoke, and I knew right then and there, this is why we ride. And I think that's when I knew that I was going to be in this until we could find a cure or until such time as I couldn't ride anymore. I come back every year to see the people again, to reinforce my own belief in that, we're going to have a cure one day, and that hopefully I'll be around to see it, because it's getting close.
The year I was diagnosed became my first ride. This year will be my 8th year participating in the Leduc Camrose bike tour. When I was diagnosed with MS, I thought of the things that I knew about MS, and MS bike was the one thing that really stood out. I wanted to fight, and I wanted to do it as long as possible. But there are so many different people that participate in this bike tour, whether they ride or volunteer, that you can absolutely connect with. Even right at the beginning, going up on the stage and seeing all of the people, that is such a powerful thing. And knowing that they're all there, they're all kind of behind me, eventually in front of me, some of them. And then to get there, to cross the finish line on day 1 and day 2 is also so powerful, especially when it's so tough some years. But seeing how much fun people have is also such a great part of it, because that camaraderie and everyone coming together and just having such a good time, it's hard to not smile like the whole weekend, no matter how tired you are.
Embrace everything you see here, right from the start to the finish.
Once you've hit and you've done them all, as long as I can physically ride, I don't see any reason why not to ride.
The people that come out for the MS bike is incredible, because we will get large teams bringing an incredible amount of money, and it's very heartwarming to know that.
MS Bike has just given me something to focus on. I just feel so supported by the people around me that I don't know how I could not do it.
I want to say to the people that are a part of this bike tour and riding, it actually impacts me. It impacts who I am and what I want to do and who I want to be. So thank you.
MS Bike, Leduc Camrose, has raised over $33 million over the last 30 years. That is such an impressive number, and everyone should be so proud of every penny that has been raised.
If we got to a point where we didn't need to do the ride anymore because we found a cure, I promise you that if you want us to have a party, I'll make that happen.